Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's Town of Danvers Zoning Board of Appeals. We are now in session. I would please start by asking if you could just silence any mobile devices or phones or beep. I don't know, do people carry beepers anymore? Anything that will make noise and interrupt us, if you could just please turn them to silent. I'll start by introducing our board members. Down to my far right is Becky Kilborn. Beside her is Corrine Doherty. Our clerk tonight is Ken Scholes. Myself, John Bowner, as the chairman. To my left is Ken Jarvinen, Chris Dembowski, and Kevin Birch, all the way down the end there. We'll briefly go through, and from our planning department, our planning director, Mr. Brian Zucchelli. I'll just briefly, for those who aren't aware of our process, I will just briefly point it out. The clerk will start by reading your case. At that point, we ask the applicant to go up to the podium, announce yourself, your name, your address. We are being recorded on Danvers Cable, so it's for the folks at home, but also for our ability to take meeting minutes so we can capture everything that's said tonight. After you've presented your case, I'll bring it back up here to the board. The board will ask questions about your application. And once the board has finished asking questions, I'll then open it up for public comment. After public comment, we'll come back to the board and we will deliberate. Based on those deliberations, you'll get a feel of how we're planning to vote, as this is a public meeting. We do it in open. And at that point, we'll give you your options on how to proceed forward. With that said, board members, we were in receipt of minutes dated September 22nd. If I could get a motion for those minutes.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. And with that said, I think we can get going. Mr. Clerk, we have our first continued case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first case is 75 Sylvan Street. This is zoned Industrial 2. Map 54, Lot 31. Request a variance under Section 37.3.3 to allow 2 single-sided and 2 double-sided signs in addition to the 2 freestanding signs currently on site. The request is made by 75 Sylvan Street LLC, care of Nancy McCann, Esquire, docket 25-5116.
Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, 75 Sylvan Street LLC. With me tonight is Jay Coughlin, principal of the LLC. Also with me tonight is Ed Spinney, who is the sign consultant for this project. And we are requesting a waiver/variance under the new sign bylaw to permit a new sign package to be installed at 75 Sylvan Street. As you know, this property is located in the Industrial 2 zoning district, and the applicant acquired the property last year and has since that time been making a number of different improvements to the site to update it and improve the overall appearance. This property is an industrial complex. It's been an industrial complex for decades. You all may recall when it was the headquarters for Sylvania, and the big lights were there all night long. But it is now Sylvania has left, obviously, and it's a multi-tenanted industrial buildings, several buildings, 3 buildings, for office, manufacturing, all permitted uses in the I-2 zoning district. It's a large site. It's over 15 acres. It has 960 feet of frontage on Sylvan Street. It has 750 feet of frontage on Adams Street. And it has over 260,000 square feet of industrial space. The proposal is to install a new sign package that's going to adequately identify the property and the entrances, both off of Sylvan Street as well as off of Adams Street, and to update the signage. Danvers adopted a new sign bylaw in February. It was delayed going through the Attorney General review process for good reason. It has some issues. There were issues with its adoption. There are issues with the language. There are errors. But for one reason or another, the AG did end up approving it towards the end of the summer. So that's what we have to work with. And until there are changes made to it to correct the issues. So working with that bylaw, we have formulated the application that's in front of you tonight. I've been working with Mr. Zacchelli, having several meetings over this bylaw to try and figure out what it says and how it applies. So with that kind of as a background, back in 2007, this board did grant variance relief for this site and allowed 3 signs along Sylvan Street. And in addition, there were some 15 directional signs installed around the property. One of them was a directional sign on Adams Street. The 3 signs on Sylvan Street were located in the general locations of the entrances, and then there were 15 directional signs all over their property. In reviewing the site and upgrading the appearance, the applicant retained Mr. Spinney and his company to review the signage, and it was determined that the signage that's on the site is cluttered. It's dated, it's not adequate for the industrial complex and to adequately identify the entrances for this multi-tenanted building. And so a new sign package has been presented. So the proposal is to remove the signs that are there, as well as removing all of the directional signs that clutter the site, and install 4 new signs at the 4 entrance points. You have the sign package with your application, and Mr. Spinney will go over the specifics with you. But you have a site plan that identifies where the signs are proposed. There are 2 different sizes of signs. There are 2 signs proposed to be 64 square feet and 2 signs at 28 square feet to identify the entrances both along Sylvan Street and identify the property along Sylvan Street, as well as to identify the shipping entrance adequately on Adams Street. So we, in addition to installing those new signs, all of the internal directional signs, 16 of those will be gone. We think this is certainly a very reasonable and modest sign package for this site. Perhaps one of the biggest issues that looms over us with the new sign bylaw is that it doesn't take into consideration the size of the site, or for purposes of freestanding signs, it doesn't take into consideration the linear footage of the frontage. So what is permitted under the sign bylaw, as it's written now, and erroneous as it is, would be 2 freestanding signs, 40 square feet, 10 feet tall. That's what's permitted on a 15-acre site with well over 1,000 square feet of frontage. That's the same amount of signage that a tailor shop on a corner lot would be able to have. And it's simply not adequate. And what we think we've come up with here and what Mr. Spinney has designed is a reasonable, attractive signage that will adequately identify the property, but not be overburdensome, and that's what you see on the application. The total square footage of the signage comes to 184 square feet. If the bylaw were properly written without the errors, I believe Mr. Zacchelli and I determined that it should probably be 200 square feet. The freestanding sign should be 100 square feet each. And unfortunately, that's not the way the bylaw is currently written. So I think I'll turn it over to Mr. Spinney. if you'd
Attorney
like.
McCann, before you do that,
Yes.
just so we don't get too far down the road, I
Yes.
want to let's talk about the bylaw for 1 second. So, prior to this change, because I understood the bylaw to be different as well, what would your need have been had no change gone through?
We would have needed a variance for the number of signs and for the
But not the overall square footage.
I don't believe for the overall square footage.
Okay.
It would still be for the number of signs, because the number of freestanding signs was one on each, facing each frontage.
Yep.
But now, the number of signs permitted is the same, but they're much smaller.
And I think, and I'll go to Brian on this, I believe we agree that this bylaw is probably going to change moving forward.
So we alerted the state that said that please don't, we essentially said, please don't approve it.
Right.
Because we preferred the old bylaw based upon some of the changes that Attorney McCann was talking about.
Right.
Mainly, the whole thing can be summarized in about one sentence. It's that a lot of the dimensions of the downtown signage is now everywhere, where it should just be downtown and other
Not
dimensions.
industrial sites, not
Exactly.
commercial
So
sites.
that,
Okay.
that's the problem.
Different.
It still allows people to apply for things, and you guys have the ability to make the right decision. Like, it doesn't prevent
Okay.
anything from happening, but it is problematic, and we definitely are gonna change it.
For sites like this.
Certainly for sites
Right,
like this. For
okay.
downtown, it's probably fine,
Just
but
right.
most, especially the
this is a
C3, the
case
C3 and the I2, like, it's a problem.
Not one size doesn't suit all, I think is what I understand.
I believe you're absolutely correct.
Okay. All right, so like I said, sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure we were all clear on the bylaw piece of it. So let's hear about the signs.
Hi, everybody. Ed Spinney from Sign Art. You have a package in front of you. What we are trying to do is clean up all the clutter and bring a lot of small signs and 2 larger signs into 4 equal signs, 1 for each entrance area, essentially. We have multiple entrances, and we're trying to make those entrances not get driven by. So we have 1 major sign that is a double-sided sign on the front on Sylvan Street. We have a small sign on one end of Sylvan Street. We have 1 sign that is on the corner of Sylvan and Adams at the beginning of the, if you wanted to bring up the site plan there, that might help a little bit. Please. So I'll kind of keep going, but there's an entrance on Adams Street, which is shipping and receiving. So we're trying to denote, that that's where we want the trucks to go in and out.
And that will be the larger sign?
No,
or
that's
the
a smaller
one?
sign because
Okay.
it's more on a side street, so we didn't want to make it too large, and we feel it's readable in the smaller size. So the larger signs are the 2 sign As on the plot plan. 1 is on the corner of Adams,
And that's 64 square feet?
and that is one of the larger ones. I don't have the square footage in front of me, I'll look it up.
180,
64, yep.
Okay.
60.
And then we have one on the main, there was a main entrance sign, 2 main entrance signs on the middle island. We're putting 1 in the center so that coming from either direction, you'll see the entrances as you see the sign.
And that's the smaller version or the larger one?
That's the larger version, the 2
Okay.
sign As. So that's in the center of the bottom. And to the right of the bottom are the 2 larger signs, sign A.
It's pretty hard, the site plan's kind of small.
Teeny tiny.
So the larger ones are
Larger one's center,
Yeah,
yep,
1.
and to the right.
and 2,
A
okay.
and A.
And then the smaller sign is up to the right on Adams Street and far to the left at the end of the lot where the entrance to Building A is.
Okay.
So the buildings are very large, and we have lots of entrances. We don't need to cause confusion and accidents of people going by entrances and saying, oh my gosh, and stepping on the brake. We want to make sure they can see it clearly, but we didn't oversize anything, and I believe under the older bylaw, we would be under the square footage. We just are asking to take down all those little directory signs and bundle them up and clean them up and put the two extra signs, the two extra small signs up. Pretty much the last time you guys voted, you voted on larger signs near the entrance, so we're just moving them a little, but we've got them there, and they are a little smaller than the last time. And then, like I say, cleaning up all the small stuff and putting two more single directional signs. We don't want to muddy up the waters, so we're not putting anything on them that's unnecessary, like tenants' names, none of that stuff. Directory signs, shipping and receiving, or just the name of the facility so people know where they're going. So we tried to design the signs so they're interior lit, but yet the backgrounds do not light up, just the lettering. So these are push-through letters. The information on the rental is non-lit but raised. So we tried to make them a little higher end and more professional looking than what's there. So there is no vinyl letter, everything, no vinyl that's going to peel and look terrible in 5 to 7 years. It's all paint, automotive-based paints and acrylics. If anybody has any questions on the LEDs interior for lighting.
Yeah, I'll let Attorney McCann finish, and then we'll bring it to the board.
The only thing I have to add is that I have requested a waiver/variance, which is kind of a different animal. That's under your new sign bylaw. It's listed under the bylaw as a waiver, but then it's called a variance in the wording of that particular section.
It's new to us, too. I don't believe we...
It is
It's always
kind-
been a variance.
It's always been a variance. I don't...
It's always been a variance. This is kind of a waiver variance, but what the criteria is under the sign bylaw is a finding that no substantial detriment shall result from the proposed signs. That's your criteria.
That's the
That's
waiver.
also different under the new bylaw. So we certainly feel that no substantial detriment will result from this signage package, and it will be, as for all of the reasons Ed stated, actually quite beneficial.
Okay, before I turn it over to the board, just one more clarification. The sign B, did you say that was 28 square feet in size?
Yes.
Yes.
And sign A is 64 square feet in size. Very good. And if you don't have anything else, I will turn it over to the board. And Becky, we'll start down there with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a huge site. I can see a ton of work getting done down there. It's going to look beautiful. I think when it's all finished, they were striping on Saturday, so the only question I have is next to two of the main signs, there was a smaller sign that said Zoe's Cafe. And, of course, I'm going to have to ask. It's not in here at all, and I noted the sign, so.
Okay. I'm going to respond briefly and then turn it over to Mr. Zakelli, because it was a surprise to us, too.
Okay.
However, a building permit was issued to the tenant. The applicant and the owner had known nothing to do with it.
Oh, my goodness.
And
This slipped
whether,
through. This is on us. This is on the town. This is on us.
there we go.
So that's going to sit next to the new signs?
I mean, I think you have the ability to manage that, meaning, even though they did not apply for that, I think you have they're here in front of you asking for certain things.
Okay. I mean, it's the same colors as the existing signs.
It's going to look it's going to look,
It's
and it's
going to look
also the same
odd
shape.
with the new signs.
It's going to look like these.
Okay, I'll, that's my only question. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Kareem?
I don't really think you have an issue here. Like, they're your tenant. I'm sure somewhere in the lease it says that you need permission in order to put up any signage. And the town should have made sure that the owner of the building was on the application. So I honestly do not know how that happens, but I think the developer or the owner of the building has the right to tell their tenant to take the sign down. So I don't see that as an issue. As far as this particular sign package, who exactly is Gateway Realty in Quinn with regard to the owner? Because the owner is 75 Sylvan Street, but if the signs that you have in the package are the actual renderings, who is Gateway?
That's the management company.
So that's the management company.
Also, Jay is a principal of that company as well. It is a related entity to the LLC.
Okay, okay. And these are the exact renderings. So instead of, on the old signs, you had 75 Sylvan Street on the big signs, and then it had arrows and directionals to which building you would go to. Those are now eliminated, and is that exactly what's going to be on the sign, just really the phone number and the address? So there are, so in other words, you pull into and you're going to building C. That only tells you that you're at 75 Sylvan Street. Is there any directional that tells you which building you're going to?
What we did was.
If you could into the mic, please.
What we did was we met with the planning board, and we decided to mark each building A, B, and C. So when you drive in, you can clearly see that building B is to your left, C is to your right, or if you drive in a different entrance, you can see that A is to your right. So the buildings are now clearly marked, which they really were never marked. They were marked with like 12 or 15 small little signs, go here, go there, go here. So now when you see your main entrance sign and you pull in, all you have to do is look right out your windshield in front of you, and you can see Building B, Building C.
Okay.
And that was permitted and discussed with planning as part of our grand scheme, and that was permittable by right.
Okay.
Okay, and those are installed as of now as well.
Okay, and then, actually, I went by twice and I didn't see those, but I take your word that they're up on the building. I think there are 2 temporary signs on the end. I assume when this package goes up, those temporary signs will come down.
Yes, that's, we decided we didn't want rental signs all over the property.
Okay,
So we have our rental information on the address sign, and we feel strongly that the address sign is what is needed. You know, our clients know they're coming to 75 Sylvan, Building A, then all they have to do is pull into the property and they look around. Now, we purposely made the building signs so that they weren't huge and obtrusive for the neighbors, so that driving by on Sylvan, you may not see them. You know, they're not made to be seen from Sylvan. They're made to be seen when you turn in, they're right in front of you.
okay.
Okay.
And tell me about the illumination.
Of
These 2 sign As?
So all of the signs, some of them are single-sided and some are double, depending upon the area they're in on the plot plan. They are all internally illuminated by LEDs. 75 is a push-through letter. State Street is a push, so all the letters push through an aluminum face. These are solid aluminum signs where we hog out the letters, then we put push-throughs in, and we do the lighting from inside. So you have some small facelit areas, like Gateway is a facelit, and then you have some glow areas for the 75 as a back glow, because black doesn't light up. And then the stripes are lit. So we tried to be very conservative and careful we're not trying to be too salesy or retail-y. We're trying to be more professional with what the look is. So they're going to be very subdued and we think pretty classy.
And what is the hour of operation for the lights? Like,
Well, we assumed that you guys would put something on us for that, but, you know, the building is not open, I don't believe, 24/7.
I believe our bylaws states it's 1 hour
1
after
hour after you close.
hours of operation.
Yep, yep.
Right.
And we figured that's what it would be, that's
And
what.
what are your hours of operation?
Good question.
I think you've got some
What?
that are 24. Yeah, there's some distribution that's 24.
Does that mean there's signs on all
Which is,
24?
that's right. That's permitted in the, well, it's permitted throughout Danvers, 24-hour operation, and they do operate 3 shifts for this site. So if it comes a time when there are no businesses open, later in the evening, then they would be off according to the bylaw. But they are lit just like, as I mentioned, Sylvania, those of you who remember when Sylvania was there, their light bulbs, you remember that? The light bulbs were just
Yeah.
lighting onto Sylvan Street all night long. It wasn't a sign, it was their bulbs. I guess that was their advertisement or something. But they were 24 hours.
I'm going to get kind of wonky here, only because I have a client that's going through this. Do you have a light plan with this? And what is the, I guess, outreach of this light? Will it end up like shedding light onto the street, or is it going to end at the property line?
The signage lights will probably end within 2 feet of the sign.
Okay.
So it's not an obtrusive, backlit, white face that's shining out big light. So would it go out onto Sylvan Street? I doubt it.
Okay.
About 2 feet from the front of the sign.
Okay. Okay, that is it for now. I might have additional questions, but thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually had the same question about the renderings of the signs. So there's 4 signs. Are they going to be perpendicular with the road, or are they parallel with the road, or perpendicular with the road?
The corner one is going to be aimed to the street, and that's a single-sided one. That's on the corner of Adams and
Straight
Sylvan.
outward, yeah.
Straight outwards.
Yeah.
The others are going to be two-sided, so you can see them from each direction as you drive up, because there's
Gotcha.
so many ways you can drive in there.
All right. And the sign that's on Adams Street is still going to say 75 Sylvan Street?
Yes, because that's what the
Confusing
building,
or not? Okay.
that's what the building is known as.
I think that's all I had. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Ken J.
I had the same questions about the lumens of the light. Those existing signs that are there now, are those lit up?
I do not think
Say
so.
into the mic, please.
I do not believe they're lit. And if they were lit at one point, I don't know that.
Okay. Do we have any neighbors here about the?
Oh, we'll find out in the public
Okay.
comment.
All right, thank you. I have no other questions.
Thank you. Chris?
So out of all 4 of the signs, realistically, the only one that would put light onto the street is the one that's on the corner of Sylvan and Adams? The other ones would be,
In a sense, you could say that, but the reality is, because of the way that it's set back.
Yep.
In the triangle, it's set back far enough that I do not believe the light will come off the grass. I'm not going to say you can't see the sign from a distance.
Yep,
But there's
understood.
a difference from light spewing out all over the street and lighting up the sidewalk in the street and we don't expect any of our light to get off of our lawns.
Okay. Thank you, all set.
Thanks, Chris. And Kevin?
No questions.
Thank you. Let's see, I think a lot of the questions were answered by other board members' questions, but did I hear we mentioned there would still be 2 directional signs on top of these 4? Or did I mishear that? There's no directional signs
No,
at all?
no.
So we're going to remove the 15 existing and the 2 large ones. We're going to replace it with these 4 signs, and there'll be 0 directional signs.
That's right.
Okay. And would you take a condition, if this was voted on favorably, to be sure the sign Corinne referenced is removed?
That is the restaurant sign
Yes.
that was, for which a building permit was issued?
In error, it sounds like yes.
I believe under the lease, did it have a requirement that they had to get the permits for the sign? And they received the permits for the sign.
I know
So,
it's
I-
double-sided here, but it would seem counterproductive to what you guys are trying to do, to clean up the site and come to us with one sign package, that
Yes.
we then have this one other sign for whatever reason, whether it was
Yeah.
the town or the tenant didn't go through the right channels, but it sounds like they did.
The
Well, they
tenant,
didn't get owners, so the problem for the town was that we gave the permit without owner's authorization. It was the owner of the business, not the owner of
The building.
So-
the building. So they
75
said the owner was the owner, but it was the owner of the business. Our mistake. But I don't know if that precludes the fact that if we made a mistake for the issuing the building permit, it's not like, okay, well, yeah, you get the building permit anyway, even though we made a mistake. Like, I don't think that's how it works.
Right, well, that's why I guess I'm still asking the question.
so I think the town could say the building permit was issued in error.
And we need a letter to that
Require
effect.
that to be removed.
I'll talk to the commissioner.
Okay.
Because those signs, in addition to not having the owner authorization process part, those would have required zoning relief also.
Right, yeah.
And they
that's-
didn't receive it.
okay.
So I think it was a legitimate error. And the town, if it does issue a permanent error, has the ability to go back and say,
We made a
was
mistake.
a- it was a
and we're
problem. It was a
rescinding it, yeah,
mistake.
okay.
Right. You
And,
can refund the application fee if that's an issue, too.
Yeah, I don't think that's the real money here.
No,
but-
no,
yeah, yeah.
I
But-
100%
yeah.
agree. But they also, I'm sure the lease says that they're supposed to get the owner's permission and approval before they even submit it. So,
they kind of
So-
circumvented that, it sounds like, to me,
right,
to us.
exactly, like you, the
I don't
owner
know
was.
that it says that. It authorizes them
All right,
to.
so there's a question here. All right,
Right.
I think you've answered all of it. Back to the building signs, because I'm a little confused on those as well. So are those like a raised letter or painted, or what are they?
Individual backlit.
Into the mic, please. We're recording this, so. that's why.
Individual backlit letters, sorry.
Okay,
So they glow against the building. There is no face lighting on purpose because we didn't want to be
And-
intrusive to the tenant.
and this might be for Attorney McCann. So those letters don't count as part of
No.
the square footage against our bylaw?
Nope.
Well,
Typically not. When,
Okay.
when building identification.
so it's more like an
signs,
address. Okay.
It's part of the address.
All right, and we talked about the setback of these signs. How far are they set back off the street? All, the ones on Sylvan and the ones on Adam?
Most of them are 10 feet back. The corner one is a little further back because there's a 20-foot by 20-foot square where we can't, so that's close to 20 feet back.
So the one on Adams is 20, and we think
Not on Adams, the corner one.
the corner of Sylvan
All of
Street.
the two sign Bs
Yeah.
on the proposal and the main sign A, the double-sided, are all 10-foot setback.
What Ed was referring to is in this new bylaw, there is a triangle that has to be measured out for corner signs. And this corner sign on Sylvan and Adams meets the requirements, so it's set back a little
So that's like a
further.
keep-out area?
It kind of is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and back, I just have two others. So we have some tenants at a 24-hour operation, hence no closing time, so hence the signs will be on 24 hours. And I think I understand why we're not listing the tenants, because that just is constant flux potentially, right? So tenants coming and going. All right. Okay, I will just ping the board one more time if any additional questions have come up.
No.
We're all good? Okay, I'm gonna go out to,
One sec, sorry.
Yeah.
Were there any letters from neighbors?
sorry, good point. Yeah, we did have one letter, and
It should be, it
Ken,
was in your packet.
yeah, Ken was not here that evening, so our clerk doesn't have it, and I don't have it in my packet. Do you have a copy, Brian, that we
Yep.
could summarize?
Sure.
I think we had Attorney McCann a letter in opposition.
I did see
You
it.
have received a copy of this letter?
I did.
Okay. So we would like to read it into the record, or at least a
It's
summary
very
of it.
long.
Yeah, it's a little long to.
Yeah,
read.
I think we could just summarize and maybe give the person's address and name.
All right, hold on. I got it.
With that said, we'll bring that letter up after public comment. So, is anybody here that would like to be heard on 75 Sylvan Street? Okay, hearing, seeing none, we'll see if our IT professional over there can come up with the letter.
Sure, so this is a letter from Susan McDonald, who is an abutter.
And do you have an address on Susan? I remember it was quite lengthy, and it was opposing the signage package.
So no, she did not list it, but I can get that.
Well,
for the
actually,
record.
we don't read into record letters without addresses, so we'll note that it was a letter of opposition, but I think I'm right about that. We don't honor a letter without an address.
I mean, we can find her address in 5 seconds. But.
Okay.
Basically, just to summarize, she wanted to start off by making a correction that's saying that when she drove by Adams Street entrance, there were signs there installing a new truck entrance. She wanted to make sure that those were not in the application, so those should be looked at of whether or not they're in the application or will be removed. They said that they were going to remove them. This person actually wanted the smaller signs throughout the site, even though it was more, she said the signs are small and distributed throughout the property, and it's misleading the fact that they do not include the photos of the main entrance signs with the Zoe's Cafe sign added, which is what Corrine was talking about, and that's saying that this is a cause for concern because they're misleading the board.
Okay. I do have one additional question, actually, before we deliberate. When this site came before us on a different application, I remember complaints out of the neighbors at that time about deliveries and trucks being parked because they didn't know where to pull in. Where do we think we're at with that? And has that subsided?
Well, no one is here
Yep.
complaining. And the signs that are being proposed should address that because they clearly say shipping and deliveries on them with that entrance identified both on Sylvan as well as on Adams, which is not there now. So we think these signs will help that situation.
Then that would be the goal, right? But I guess I'm wondering from that application time to now, do we think that there's still been an issue there? In the owner's estimate?
In the owner's estimate, no. And we haven't heard anything, and again, I think it speaks that that hearing had a very large number of people in the audience, if you recall.
Yeah, no, I do.
And
Yep.
they're not here this evening on this issue, so I would think that
Okay.
speaks to
John,
the issue.
actually, I have a question after
Yeah,
she's done.
yeah, we'll let you go for public comment. Go ahead, go up to the mic. Sorry, we're a little out of order here, but I'll allow it.
Silver, I think. It's the letter.
Hi.
Hi there, good evening. Linda Polcari, I live on Pine Street, so I have this building right in front of my house where the 24-hour operations go on. It's still very loud. There's a lot of backup beeping going on when they're trying to load in. I see trucks still coming in and they're going the wrong way, and they're trying to back up these trailers down a little driveway. It's just all hours of the night, so it's still happening. Also, another annoying situation is for some reason over there, everyone's car alarms go off. I don't know if they're working and they hit their button or something, but I've had to call the police on that a few times. You know, it's like 3 a.m. I don't want to be woken up by that at 3 a.m.
Understood.
You know,
And just to be clear, they are here on a sign package, so it's not a lot we can do about that, but we can certainly
Right,
ask
right.
the applicant to talk to their employees to
yeah,
see
it's
if
just
they
a
can help
courtesy
with that.
thing. That's
Sure.
all. You know, we're very quiet, even though Pine Street is a busy street. It's actually a very quiet street. So I hear everything. I hear people talking. Sometimes they used to have like do donuts in that parking lot. I'm sure they're not going to do that now because it's nice and new. They recently paved it. So, so I had a question for the Adam Street sign.
Yep.
So I feel like it would be important to label that is Adam Street, even though it's going to say 75 Sylvan. I think that's going to be confusing. It's not easy to navigate a trailer truck around there if they miss it or if they get confused, if they've never been there before. You know, that's kind of a bad area. There's not really any easy place to turn around now, you know?
Okay, well, I'll let the applicant answer on that.
Yep.
Okay. And you're for or against this?
Well, my other question is there going to be some kind of a dimmer on these signs?
Well, I
if
think
we don't
the
like how
applicant
bright?
pointed out they're not very bright. They only illuminate
Okay.
2 feet from the signs.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look nice. I just don't want anybody on that side to be bothered. They're not going to bother me. I'm more of the volume issue on my side.
Sure.
So I'm just really
Sounds
hoping
like there
that,
won't be a lot of light splash or pollution
yeah,
from
if
it.
it's equivalent to a street light or something, then that's
It
different.
doesn't even
you
sound
know?
like it's that bright.
Yeah, that's, I'm not against that, you know.
Okay.
But they, you know, it looks like it's going to be nice, and so I appreciate them cleaning up the area and stuff. But,
Very good.
I don't know if they want to answer that question
Yep,
for me.
I'll
Thanks.
get them up there. Thank you.
There will certainly still be the public street signs that
Sure.
will identify Sylvan Street and Adams Street at that corner. There will be nothing in the address for someone who is coming, and the Adams Street entrance is the delivery entrance.
Yep.
There will be nothing in the address that says Adams Street. So I think if you put, and Ed can speak to this as well, I think if you put anything other than 75 Sylvan Street on the Adams Street entrance, that will be confusing because
Yeah.
there is no address for, no tenant, no deliveries, will the address say Adams Street? So if you stick with 70, it's a corner lot, and the address is 75 Sylvan, you stick with that. I think that would be appropriate, but Ed can speak to that also.
I totally agree that we could confuse the heck out of everybody. I understand the concern. The building is everybody knows that it's 75 Sylvan Street, these 3 buildings. And the.
Well, everybody in Danvers.
No, the
truck
drivers,
deliveries.
The instructions to all the drivers and everything,
Yep.
you go into 75 Sylvan Street, take the deliveries are on the side street. So we just think 2 addresses on there would confuse the heck out of things, and you know how people get confused very easily these days.
Sure. Me
so-
included.
All of us, but you know, it's not like they're not telling people where to go. So the drivers coming, even if it's their first time there, are being told in advance where they have to go.
Okay.
You know, so, and I'm sure that new ownership will listen and try to fix any of the noise issues as best they can. They're doing a great job revitalizing the whole area.
Yeah, I think there's agreement on that it's gone in the right direction. Attorney McCann, is it within the realm of the owner to possibly a letter to tenants to try to address the noise concerns off hours for the neighborhood, the 3 a.m. car alarms and things of this nature?
Oh, sure, and
Yeah.
he's here, and he
Sure,
will
well, you're hearing
certainly
it
take
loud
care
and
of
clear,
that.
so
Yeah.
I can imagine that would be quite intrusive as a neighbor, you know, to have to hear that stuff.
Sure.
Even though it's 24-hour operation, and it is a industrial or commercial?
Industrial, too.
Industrial high site, you know, I think that
Yeah.
that could go a long way.
Sure.
Okay.
Happy to do that.
With that said, I'm going to close the public portion here, and we will vote. Deliberate.
Thank you.
We all good? Oh,
Yeah.
I closed it, but for you, Bill? Okay. Come on up.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I know in the past at one of the meetings there was a problem with the trucks arriving and idling until they could do what their business was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been addressed. The other thing I
Well, I think I can answer it. I mean, I know the state of Massachusetts has a 5-minute idle law, and that's a police action, so.
that would be my next
Yeah.
question. Did you receive any information?
Nothing came to this board
criticism
ahead of the
from
meeting.
From the police department?
Yeah, no, we have no complaints on record. We have no neighbors here speaking to that, except for this one. And I think there's actionable something that the police department can do in those cases, so.
The last thing, and I think I mentioned it at the select board meeting on signs, can you add the last, use your inside voice?
Say it one more time?
Use your inside voice, the
Oh.
last line on a sign, so that people having coffee or doing whatever aren't heard by people who
I think
live
the
in
owner's
short-
getting that loud and clear. I might not be up here, but I'm
Certainly,
getting.
the residents are on.
Yeah, sure, no, they deserve their peace and
Well,
quiet,
the
sure.
people that live on one side of,
Totally agree.
considering the area, I don't think they're going to complain, but others might.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you. Okay, with that said, I will come out and
Are
we
you
will.
ready again?
I'm ready for a third time. We will deliberate, and Becky, we started with you.
All right. I know the new owner of this property. They own a lot of properties all over the North Shore. The properties are all very well maintained, so I think we should be happy to have them in our town. We could see all the work that they're doing down there already. That being said, we have to be realistic. It's an industrial property with 24-hour operations, and I think the new signage package will help with everyone coming and going. And I know we're going to have a lot of activity down there, but it is what it is. It's an industrial property and has been forever. So I would be in favor of this.
Thank you, Becky. Corinne?
I actually think the old signage is outdated. It looks like it's definitely from a different generation. Not 100% sure. I love the new signs, but they are more updated. And I would put the condition with regard to the signs and the illumination that the light arc will not extend past the property line.
Thank you, and otherwise you're in favor.
Cafe
Yes.
sign.
Oh, I mean, if we can get the cafe sign down,
Yeah, I
I
think-
would be all for that.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Ken?
Yeah, I mean, I will vote for this. I think it's pretty modest. I think this is confusing. So, seeing this removed with the new signs, I'll be in favor of this.
Thank you, Ken. And Ken J.
I think it's a good cleanup from what exists now, so getting rid of all those 15 directional signs and stuff, it's gonna look a lot neater, and I'll vote for this as well.
Very good, thanks, Ken. And Chris?
I would also vote for this as well. I think the signs are great. I love the color, instead of that bland brown and white look. Thank you.
Thank you. And Kevin?
Agreeing with all of the comments from my fellow board members about the aesthetics of these signs and it being an improvement and all that. All that being said, although I highly doubt I'm voting, I would not vote for this, only because I do not think it's this board's job to fix a bad bylaw. The bylaw needs to be fixed. I think everybody acknowledges it needs to be fixed. I would not make the remedy to that granting a variance. I think the standard for a variance is in Chapter 40A, and it's quite high. And it just has nothing to do with what we're doing here tonight, which is just trying to fix a badly done bylaw.
Thank you. And I too think this addresses, I guess, a freshen up, maybe to paraphrase what Corinne said of the site. I would ask, though, that the town send a letter to whatever cafe it is to ask, I basically alert them that they'd like them to take that sign down. And I too would vote in favor. So with that, could I get a motion, please?
Would you like me to read it?
Somebody?
I make a motion to grant a variance waiver under section 37.3 Point 3, to allow 2 single-sided and 2 double-sided signs where only 2 signs are allowed, and that this condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant. Granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good. It will not nullify or derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. And I would also add 3 conditions. 1, that the illuminated light arc will not extend past the property line. 2, that the applicant work with the town to remove the tenant's sign from the property. And 3, that all of the other signs on the property will be taken down.
I've got a motion. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Does that say?
Opposed?
I'm not voting, sir.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-0.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you very much, and good luck. All right.
As a point of information, Mr. Chairman, which 5 are voting? I know
I'm
we
sorry, I should have assigned that at the beginning. On that one, it was Corinne, Ken's, John, and Chris.
Correct,
And Becky and Kevin were alternates on that.
correct.
On this case, I believe our clerk's going to recuse himself, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right, and I'm going to appoint Corinne to act as our temporary chair. Corinne, if you could read the next application.
The first regular item for this evening is 16 Salvatore Circle, R2, map 41, lot 52. Request a finding under Table 2 to expand a non-conforming building that is non-compliant with respect to side setbacks at 10.8 feet, with the proposed addition being only 8.3 feet from the property line. A request made by Gary and Kathy Atkinson, docket number 25-5118.
And I will appoint Becky, you will vote on this case. And is somebody here for 16 Salvatore Circle? Yeah, if you could, come up to the mic, tell us who you are and what you'd like to do.
Yes, my name's Gary Atkinson. I'm here with my wife, and what we're trying to do is put an addition onto the back of our house that will allow us to bring the washer and dryer upstairs and build can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I said that's a good move.
Yeah, and we're bringing the washer and dryer upstairs. We'd like to have a walk-in shower rather than what we have now is a very small bathroom that you have to step over the tub. And as we age, these movements get more and more difficult. And so we want to bring all our life experiences onto to the first floor.
Sure.
And we're going back, and you can see the lot is is wedge-shaped. And what happens is when we go straight back, we kind of get a little closer to the fence line. And the overall size of the new addition that we're proposing is about 218 square feet. And of the whole addition, only about 27 square feet is moving closer than the existing clearance that we have, or setback that we have of, I think it's 10.8 feet. So it's just, it's the back corner of the addition.
Okay, seems pretty straightforward. Anything else you want to present?
You know, I'm not sure you've seen my narrative.
Yep,
and
yeah, we all have a copy of it,
Yes,
yes.
and-
And I believe your neighbors were in here last meeting doing something similar.
Yes,
Yes.
they were, and they told us.
We've
what
been
they-
down your street a little bit lately.
Yeah, they said that it might be good if you got a letter from your neighbors to.
Yes, we have a couple of those. We'll read them into the record as well.
And so we've spoken to the neighbors on either side, and they've expressed no problems with it.
Very good. Okay, if you don't have anything else, I'll turn it over to the board.
Okay.
Excellent. Kevin, we'll start down there with you.
So in between the kind of two rear wings of the house now, there's a little box that says BH, and forgive me if it's just my bad plan reading, but bulkhead. I see. So is that essentially why this whole thing couldn't have just been shifted to the left and
Yeah,
built?
as you can see, there's like a little jog there.
Yeah.
So we've moved it over almost 2 feet. But the bulkhead just, it's kind of a barrier.
Understood. Yeah, no further questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
The bulkhead, it's one of the metal doors, I assume?
Yeah,
With the
metal,
steps down and in?
cement.
Okay, no questions, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And Ken J.
I have no questions.
And Mr. Scholes? Oh, sorry, you're not voting. Corinne?
I have no questions. I'll reserve for comments.
Very good. And Becky?
I have no questions.
I only have one question. I do see the existing house is 10.8 feet, and this new addition will be 8.3. Does that 8.3 include an overhang?
Yes.
It does include the overhang, okay. And I believe that was my only question. I think, and this is more for you, Brian, I think town engineering said that stormwater permit would be required, but that's only if this was a 50% addition to the house, which this doesn't
Not even
fall
close.
under
Not
that,
even
right?
close. I'm surprised they.
I did some calculations.
Yeah, no, it's not even close to that. So I think our town engineering department might have
15%.
got an error there.
I'm not sure why they even mentioned it.
Okay, so I'm just pointing it out that I'm with you anyways. I don't believe this requires a stormwater permit.
I got that message, and
You did your homework.
I did my homework. I
Okay.
checked it out, but
We'll get them to
didn't
sharpen
bring
their
anything
pencil.
with me because it just seemed,
Yep.
it's only like 15 or 18%.
Yeah,
No way.
agreement. Okay, very good. And I will go out to the public. Anybody here would like to speak? Oh, sorry, before I do that, Corinne, if you could read in the two letters we received.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, just to be consistent, there's no address and the name is illegible.
Yeah.
There are
I
addresses.
can't- There are addresses.
On the bottom.
They're at the bottom, but I
I
can't
see.
read. Maybe,
Oh, so
maybe the applicant
Do you
can
know
tell me
the
which.
name of your neighbors at 16 and,
They're
sorry, at
16.
14 and 18?
Yeah.
Let's see,
I'm 18.
That's why he's recused, okay. All right, Scholes at 18, and how about, now you just have to know who your neighbor is on the other
Frank and
side.
Kathy Knowles.
Yes.
Knowles, very good.
I'm sorry, what is
Scott and Kathy Knowles.
Knowles.
Scott? No, I have that. I just needed the gentleman's first name.
Okay.
All right, to October 1st, 2025, to whom it may concern, we are a direct neighbor of the Atkins, living at 16 Salvatore Circle. We have been neighbors for many years and have no objections with them building an addition on the back of their house. We foresee no negative impacts to us or the neighborhood from this project. Signed, Ken Scholes at 18 Salvatore Circle and Kathleen and Scott Knowles at 14 Salvatore Circle.
Very good.
Our neighbor on the back side of the house is the St. Richard's Church, so.
Very good. And obviously, they're not here in protest either. Okay, anybody from the public would like to be heard on 16 Salvatore Circle? Hearing, seeing none, I will come back to the board. We will deliberate, and I started with you, Kevin.
Yeah, if what we were doing is adding more linear feet that is into the setback at the same number that is into the setback, absolutely no problem. It is on the garage side of the, abutter's property, which I think makes it more tolerable. I understand the lot's in a regular shape. In terms of whether it's more detrimental, when you're, a third of the way into the setback and then we're essentially going to half, I would start to think that maybe we're getting to the point where we're more detrimental, but I think ultimately I'd support it. So.
Very good. Chris?
I would be voting in favor of this. I am also definitely going to be jealous of the size of your master bathroom, that's for sure.
Very good. Ken J?
I'll vote for this as well.
Very good. And Corinne?
I actually think all the neighbors that have come with these like additions. They've all been in keeping with the neighborhood. I love the fact that you all seem to include your neighbors in this. So when you actually put the addition on, everyone in the neighborhood is in agreement with it. So yes, I will vote for this.
Very good. And Becky?
And I did go out and visit the property, and I would also vote for this.
And I too don't see an issue with this. It's a very modest addition, and it keeps you in your home and keeps you from those cellar stairs. So, excellent. And I would too vote in favor. So if I could get a motion, please.
A motion to grant a finding under Table 2 to expand a non-conforming building that is non-compliant with respect to side setback at 10.8 feet, with the proposed addition being only 8.3 feet from the property line, and that the alteration or change to the non-conforming structure is not substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming structure to the neighborhood.
Very good. I've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Very good. Good luck. See the building
you.
department, and they'll get you squared away.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving right along. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next case is 103 Newberry Street. This is zoned highway corridor, map 40, lot 12. Requests a variance under Table 2 to place a mobile home number 22 on the side property line abutting the cemetery, where a side setback of 25 feet is required. The request is made by Leah and James LLC, care of Nancy McCann Esquire, docket 25-5119.
Attorney McCann, our alternates on this will be Becky Kilborn and Kevin Burridge.
So the voting members are your regular members.
Correct.
Thank you very much. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the applicant and property owner, North Shore Property Group LLC and Leah and James LLC. With me tonight is Will Shkuda, who is the project engineer. Also with me from North Shore Property Group LLC is Mike Bonfiglio, and from Leah and James LLC, the owner of the property is James St. Pierre. The property is located at 103 Newbury Street in the Highway Corridor Zoning District. This is the Shady Oaks Mobile Home Park. Back in 2023, we appeared before this board and received a finding and variance relief to allow some expansion of the park and some renovations, which involved the addition of some new mobile homes to the park. In conjunction with those improvements, home number 22 that we're discussing tonight, which was previously known as home 24, home number 22 did receive variance relief to be 10 feet from the side lot line. The two abutting homes to home number 22, those are existing homes, and those are 1 foot from the property line, and the other is 2 feet from the property line. The plan that you're seeing there was the original approved plan back in 2023, and you can see the existing homes on either side being 1 foot and 2 feet from the property line. During the course of the construction of the improvements and the installation of the new mobile homes that were approved, the home number 22 location was altered to be in line with the other homes. As you can see from that plan from 2023, the mobile home really sticks out quite a ways into the driveway. So during the course of construction, that location of the home was altered. It was pulled back out of the driveway, and it was closer to the lot line than the approved 10 feet. The as-built survey unfortunately identified home number 22 as being on the lot line with the what is an ancient cemetery. So we are seeking a variance to allow the home to remain as it was installed in the location that is, the point of it is located on the lot line. This is, as you will recall, a very irregularly shaped lot. It also has significant topo issues. and has about 2.5 acres, quite a bit of frontage, 335 feet of frontage on Newbury Street, but significant topography issues that really dictate the placement of the mobile homes, and we discussed that with the board back in 2023 when the variance was granted and the finding was granted. This has been a mobile home park for many, many years. There is evidence that originally this mobile home park had 30 mobile homes. When we appeared before you and received approval, there are now 27 homes. But at one point, there were actually 30 homes on this site. There are now 27. Mobile homes, as the board recognized, does provide home ownership options for people who would not otherwise qualify or be able to afford a single-family home or even a condo under today's market. The mobile home option does certainly meet a need to provide housing for and home ownership for folks who would otherwise be out of that market. And as homeowners, they become true members of the community. So at this point, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Will. He provided some photos, and he can describe the location a little better than I for what we're seeking and why the location change was made.
Good evening, Will Scooter from the Moore and Cameron Group. First, I did print photos, if you would accept these. I can distribute them. So as Attorney McCann was saying, the existing trailer was actually shifted during construction. It was shifted back, which actually improves the drive aisle. So the benefit of that is now that it's basically on the curve where this unit is, and pulling it back kind of increases that sight line. It also was, part of the reasons that they moved it back was for snow plowing, because this is kind of at the bottom of a slope. So as the slope turns up, that's where they push snow. So that's kind of the reasoning of why it got moved and where it stands today. As she also mentioned, that there's the existing units on that back line of the cemetery are 2 feet and 1 foot. So this is slightly closer, but if you look at the photos, you can see it's very well kind of lined up visually with the other units there. And then I also, there are other photos in there, sorry for the order. My computer doesn't like to print them as I take them, but I put a key map together kind of directing of where those photos were taken. So you can see that, I just wanted to show that the whole site itself has been repaved and is a lot more adequate for access through the site.
Am I correct to assume it's photo 9 is the one that shows this particular trailer or mobile home?
So if you look, photos 6 and 11 and 9, 12, and 16 are basically the ones that show that unit.
6, 9, so the ones that pertain to this is...
So unit 6, this is kind of taken through the back, looking through the cemetery. It's the one that's right behind that oak tree that's kind of leaning. And then if you look at photo 8 on that same page, not the red trailer, the one on the left of that is the unit that we're talking about. Yeah, exactly, right where the cursor is, that's this unit. So you can kind of see it was pulled back and it aligns better with that front of that unit as well. And then if you look at the next page on photo number 9, that is looking directly at it. Again, it's the unit to the right of the red one, basically under that oak tree. And that's kind of, again, right along that cemetery lot line. And then the unit, or photo number 14 kind of shows the front view, looking down the drive aisle towards that. And as well as 16 is kind of a straight shot. So you can kind of see it does align better with that existing unit that was there.
All right. anything else you want to present?
I think that's it. I touched upon the hardship being the shape and the topography of the lot, which this board found to be a hardship affecting this lot back in 2023. Given the location of the two abutting homes on either side and the configuration of the driveway, pulling the mobile home back makes it fit better within the neighborhood and avoids this mobile home sticking out into the driveway. And there is certainly no detriment to the public good, and these homes, and this home in particular, serve a need. And is in keeping with the intent and the purpose of the bylaw, which states that it is a purpose to provide housing for persons of all income levels, which the mobile home park generally does that. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll start down there with you, Becky.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, Carrie?
Attorney McCann, can you just give us just a brief summary of how this non-compliance came to surface? It
Yes.
said that you were, the applicant was having the lot surveyed. Is that what happened?
No, an as-built plan was prepared because this went through approval processes, and we had to have an as-built plan. And when the as-built plan was done, that was when it was identified that this,
Okay.
the issue.
Okay, that makes sense. If I'm looking at the plan that you have here, I don't know what it's entitled, but it looks as if the original design of this, they were in line with one another, meaning 22 and 23. And it seems as if it was pushed forward instead of being pushed back. But if you look at the original design, it looked as if both 22 and 23 were supposed to be the same size. So did this, like, specific mobile home, did you just purchase like a bigger size and that's why it ended up pushing back?
I don't know the answer.
So the proposed mobile home was about 4 feet shorter, so it was a little bit longer, but it was moved back as well. So on the approved plan, we held the 10-foot setback because this is one of the spaces that there was a previous trailer there. We just didn't know exactly where it was. So we held the 10 feet, but during construction, it got shifted back.
So the two, those specifically, 22 and 23, are not the same size?
Correct, yep. If you look
Okay.
on, so this is kind of an overlay with the as-built, what we're here today for the variance, in red, and then that black outline is the proposed location. The original approved location, kind of right where
Is in
that
the black.
number 14 is pointing, where that black square is, right there,
Yeah.
that is the
What was
approved
approved.
location.
Okay.
The red is where it is.
Correct.
So, but there was never any thought, or can you not go back now, just to have 22 and 23 be the same size? Because if they were the same size, you wouldn't need to be here.
Correct, they're constructed at this point.
Okay. I mean, I know they constructed, but I don't know what the issue would be with kind of, I guess, moving or changing. So, okay, that's it. I have no other questions.
Thank you. Ken Schulz?
I don't think you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you. Ken J?
So you were approved for a 10-foot setback, and then, so you move, what is the setback going to be now?
There isn't.
Zero.
It's zero.
Zero,
It's on the
okay.
property.
So it's right on the property line, and the other one's like a foot and 2 feet away.
Correct, so that's just for this unit, we had the 10-foot setback. There are other units that are closer, that were existing previously.
It's 3 and 1.
Yep. So did you have to change the pad, move the pad?
So these were new trailers that were brought in, so they constructed new pads, new utility connections, and they put this on. So we identified this during the as-built process, unfortunately, and that's why we're here today.
Okay. All right, I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Chris?
I think my only question is why this went off the original plan of being 10 feet off the property line, and now all of a sudden we're sitting on top of it.
Yeah, it's something that occurred during the construction process. Unfortunately, it happened. We weren't involved with that. That just kind of came about during the as-built, and that's when we noticed that it is, in fact, got shifted further than they probably intended to, but it did get shifted, and it's basically on the lot line within an inch or so.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Sorry.
I'm trying to look at the plans from tonight and from 2023. I guess a question for staff, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, go ahead.
Do we have any idea who owns the abutting cemetery, or is this just one of those New England things? There are just weird abutting cemeteries everywhere that, you know.
Well, I mean, Job and Eli Jedediah are not really available anymore.
I actually tried to look this up.
So as of right,
Originally came.
right, so.
And the last I could kind of tie it to was 89 Newbury. Somehow was tied in with that, and then ownership got unknown at that point.
Right now, it's considered it's like an orphaned parcel that, that Shady Oaks, they maintain, so they're doing, they don't need to do that, but they're maintaining it, making it look nice. I think they mow it. So they're maintaining it, but there is no like owner who's angry or anything like that, meaning that
The tenants are very quiet.
well, yeah, that joke too.
Yeah.
But the descendants of the owners are not present. Like they are nowhere. It is an orphaned parcel.
Yep.
Does that answer it, Kevin?
I think it does. Yep, I think just as I think I've set up here, and I think maybe perhaps you were, I was the audience you were playing to, Ms. McCann. Thanks for addressing the the 40A variance requirements in your statement. I appreciate it.
No other questions?
No, none.
Okay. And maybe this is more for you, Attorney McCann, so I'm trying to recall 2023. I believe you added 13 homes.
Yes,
The proposal was initially for 15 homes,
that's correct.
and we dialed back to 13. So out of these 13 that were added, are they all identical in size, and are they all brand new?
They would all be new. Are they all identical in size? No, they are not.
Okay. So would we say number 22 is on the larger end of the ones we added? Let me ask it another way. What is the largest size we added, and where are the locations?
So the largest ones that were added are 60 feet long roughly, and they're kind of in the back. So if you go up on that plan north, the 3 units are
Okay,
all
and
60.
what is the length of 22?
56 feet.
56.
Yep, and then there's also 52 foots out there, so it's 52,
So those were like the
56.
3 main sizes, 60,
60, yeah,
56, and 52.
correct.
Okay. And the propane tanks, do they sit in the setback as well, or are they in the cemetery?
They're
You
actually
gave me a
right-
picture, and I didn't even
Yeah,
take
if you
that
look
in.
at it, they're just on the lot, in the property, because it's angled on that lot line, they sit in that little triangle behind the dwelling.
Well, I have to believe that this error was known at the time the pad got poured and ignored. It just seems like we're way down the road to find this problem, but I guess that's more a comment. Okay, those are all the questions I had. No additional from the board? If not, I'll go out to the public. Anybody?
I have one more.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Just trying to move on.
So aren't 23 and 21 also non-conform? They don't meet the setback either.
Those were,
They were
those
yeah,
were original.
originals.
Before zoning?
No,
Is that what we're saying?
There's a different,
I guess I don't-
can summarize for
I don't get it.
Mrs. Kelly. I believe the setbacks don't really apply in trailer parks, correct? Mobile home parks or whatever.
No, I mean,
There is
they
one.
do, but they just had to go through a process to get them because But no, definitely setbacks count.
And I
That's why we're here.
I believe everything we added, we asked for this 10-foot setback back in 2023.
Well, yeah,
Correct.
there's no doubt that they went through the whole process, and you said, yes, 10 feet.
Said 10
go-
feet.
Go, that's great.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you gave permission for that.
And the 1 foot and the 2 foot were there.
Yeah,
At
correct.
that time.
They were already on
The
the
two on
ground.
either side that are 1 feet and 2 feet, those were originally existed
Right.
in 2023.
Right.
And so, while
They
we
don't-
are a ways down the pike, and it is quite a process to try and move this, Unit 22, in this case, it is in keeping with the two mobile homes on either side. So it was a mistake. It was a mistake during construction. What is the harm of the mistake? I would suggest there really isn't a harm for the mistake. It would be very difficult to, if not impossible, to undo it. But shouldn't have happened, but it did. It's a mistake. That's,
I don't have any other
Can,
questions.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yeah, go ahead.
could. So we are already have a non-conforming situation with, in terms of the setbacks. So why aren't we asking for a variance to determine whether this makes it substantially, excuse me, why aren't we asking for a finding about whether this is substantially worse? Why a variance?
Because it's a new mobile home. So these were all new mobile homes.
These were additions.
These are mobile homes that didn't exist, and they're going into the setback.
Right, but homes
new.
24 and 22 already existed, right?
Correct. But but it's a separate structure. We're talking about this structure.
So if I connected them, then we'd be asking for a,
You connected them, then it
You-
would be
you-
one,
you-
it would be one variance amongst all
You
of
know what I
them.
mean?
But-
Like if
But
I-
each one of these buildings needs its own. is
if
what-
I were into my setback on my house, right, and I wanted to add on right to the property line, I'd be here asking you for a finding.
Correct.
But because these are separate structures,
Exactly.
that's why we're at.
It's the same thing as if you had a shed, for example.
Right.
Like if it was connected to your house, you would have to have the principal setbacks, and that would, and like if you were already in there, it would be a finding. But if you have a standalone shed that you're trying to break a setback, that's a variance.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Very good. I'll go out to the public on this.
Oh,
Anybody?
I have one more question, sorry about that, Mr. Chair. Is that, who owns the shed? What unit owns that shed between 22 and
Between the two there.
21? Yeah. Is that still there? It's still 2 feet off the line?
Well, this is,
I can see it.
this is an as-built, so it is there.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hi, my name is James St. Pierre. I'm the owner of the property.
Hello.
The owner of that shed is in unit number 22.
22. This new unit?
Yes.
So the shed was an addition as well?
Yeah, it's a portable structure. It sits on cinder blocks.
Does that require a permit, Mr. Zacchelli?
I would leave that to the commissioner, but if that did require a permit, it would have to be zoning compliant,
Yeah. Which it is
which
also
is, it would
not.
be 5 feet.
Right, so that's also not right. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Do you have any more?
Nope.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, I'll go out to the public on this. We're here on 103 Newberry Street. Yes, sir.
Again, Real Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. By allowing this the way it sounds to me, are you setting a precedent for down the line if someone else makes a mistake?
Well, I can answer
Already
that, I
set.
believe. We look at each case individually, and no precedent is set it. That answer it?
Well, it is an answer, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else here for 103 Newberry Street? Okay, hearing, seeing none, nobody online, Brian, I take it? All right, we will deliberate. I think I started with you, Becky.
I did drive through the property. It's very tight in there. And I'm not voting on this, so I will defer to the board.
Very good. Thank you. Corinne?
I agree with Becky. I think it's tight in there. I think if you had selected the smaller size unit, it would have been in line with the adjacent trailer, and I also think it would have fit on the property, so I'm voting no.
Thank you, Corinne. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I hate to vote on something because of a mess-up or something wasn't done right. But I think this is a unique situation because of that lot behind them. Very unique. So I would vote in favor of this.
Very good. Ken J?
It's, you certainly don't want the unit in the driving path, so to pull it back, I think, is definitely good, because it is tight in there. And the other units are 1 foot and 2 feet apart. I don't think the shed is an issue. That's 2 feet off the line. That's no closer than the other unit. And this is sitting on the line, but there isn't a neighbor back there to complain and stuff. And I know it's a mistake and stuff, but I think this is actually, I mean, it's, if you had a shorter home, it would have fit better, but since you have what you have, and I think it's, that's the best option right now. I would vote yes on this.
Thank you. Chris?
Because I feel like this is an oops or a mistake and might have been an oversight or someone turned a blind eye, I would not be voting in favor of this.
I think what troubles me a little bit about this is that there is more there than is allowed by right, right? And so when the board grants relief for that, now he comes back and say, oh, well, we couldn't do it, we had to shift it because it's hard to fit all this in here. And I think my response to that would be, we know, that's why that's why you were limited to some certain number by right. So I think perhaps there's more here than should be. I know we're not here to relitigate, what was approved in 2022 or 2023, but I think the numbers are already there. So I'll forgo a conclusion.
Very good. Attorney McCann, there's, kind of good arguments on both sides here. You don't have the votes. I, too, would oppose this. I think, we spent time coming up with this plan. I thought it was a good plan at the time in 2023. I can understand wanting to have the driveway path. However, I believe a smaller unit would have achieved that and still hit the setback, or at least half of the setback. So I think for that reason, I'm a no. So what would you like to do? I further would ask that a permit be pulled on that shed as well, and that it comply to the setback, which it
If
doesn't.
need be, although I look at the original plan, and there was a shed there, so on the original plan, so I don't know that that's necessary for that.
Well, I think we just heard
temporary
the owner say
structure.
it was new, no? I thought that's what he said. It looks new.
Hi, James St. Pierre, owner
Hi.
of the Shady Oaks. It's a replacement because the other one was kind of decrepit and just old and gross looking and.
Okay, but on a replacement, I think we would have asked for a permit, yes? Yeah. So,
Okay, I'm sorry. My understanding was that if it was with.
well, that's why we asked everybody
size-
to go through the planning department and the,
I mean, you can always replace
Permit.
a shed in the same location.
Yeah.
If it's just a replacement, same size, it's just if it's,
it still needs a permit.
well, if it's under 200 square feet, it doesn't need a building permit, but it does need zoning conformance. So-
It is under 200 square
Right,
feet.
but zoning conformance would be 5 feet off the property line, which this is not.
Or
Correct.
it replaces an existing grandfathered, as Mr. Zakelli just said.
We
You
still would
can't
have, it still would have gone through an accessory structure permit. But yes, you could have done exactly, if it was an existing shed and all you're doing is replacing it at the same location, you
Still needs a
still need to
permit.
apply for an accessory structure permit. It's a nothing, but you do need to apply for it.
Even if it's under 200 square feet?
Not a building permit, it's an accessory structure permit. Because even at 120, you still need to be zoning compliant 120 square feet, you still have to be zoning compliant. So we receive all permits, even if it's under 200. If it's between 120 and 200, it's just an accessory structure permit. If it's over 200, you also need a building permit.
Okay, we'll check on that and apply
That's
for
an easy
that
one, yeah.
as necessary. Mr. Chairman, could I have a moment?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Becky, on 75 Sylvan, the motion is not, we approved 2 double-sided and 2 single-sided. There's 3 double-sided and 1 single-sided.
But the error happened because Nancy's narrative said 2 and 2, but if you look at the plans that were submitted,
It's 3 and 1.
it's 3 and 1.
All right,
When
I'll
they,
go back to
and
it.
when they talked about it, they talked about 3 and 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get that clarified. Thank you for,
Okay.
thanks for finding that.
Good job, Becky.
Well,
See, that's why we have wily veterans like you.
I'm like, I know I
Show
heard
off.
3 and 1.
Well, it's hard when they're asking for something and they're not actually asking for that. But that was what they asked for.
No, it
No.
was, it's
in
right
the
in
sign.
the narrative.
That's what I'm saying. It's in, I mean, that, they asked for that, but that's not,
But the sign package
is slightly different.
is different.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
I
We'll
was
go
telling
back,
Becky,
we'll
but I
reopen it. We
remember
have
what-
the power.
I just remember what he said
Yeah.
about the signs.
And she's still here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Just have to modify the approval.
Zoe's Cafe counts towards the number
Nope.
approved. I mean, the plans are the plans, they just said it
Not
wrong.
really.
We look at the plans, we don't,
Not
the
everything.
narrative is kind of less, they're approving, yeah. but People
Is
try.
this a bigger screen? How come we can't see the clock now?
I don't know, I have no
Can we
idea.
take a 5-minute recess?
That
We're go-
sounds like a great idea.
We're gonna take a 5-minute recess. We'll be back.
I remember.
For the Danvers Zoning Board of Appeals.
Hold on.
Yep, sorry?
Now you are.
We're good. We are now back in session. Danvers Zoning Board of Appeals, Attorney McCann, what would you like to do? And this is on 103 Newbury Street.
I would like to request a continuance to your next available meeting. I think perhaps your next meeting is full, but the meeting after that. to allow my client an opportunity to see if there's any way to resolve this or make the situation better.
Okay.
So I would request a continuance.
All right,
please.
I know we're full for October 20th,
So it's November 10th.
so this will push us into November 10th. Any further comment from the board? Could I get a motion to continue this to November 10th?
So moved.
And a second.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good, we'll see you on November 10th.
Thank you very much.
Attorney McCann, before we go back, go to our last case, 200 Endicott, we've got a little bit of confusion on the 75 Sylvan Street application. We made a motion for 2 large signs and 2 smaller signs, but I believe your narrative and application asked for 3 and 1, so could we get some clarification on that?
No, no, no.
Sorry.
no,
I
that's
am
not
wrong?
right.
The other way around.
No, no, no. You, in your application, you asked for 2 double-sided and 2 single-sided, but if you look at the renderings, it asks for 3 double-sided and 1 single-sided. So we didn't want you to leave if you really need 3 and not 2 for the double-sided.
Okay.
And when he described it, he said 3 and 1. He said the only one that was single-sided was on the corner.
I thought, yeah, that was the
Right, because
Adams
it's
Street.
facing out. There's just
Right.
the
The
one.
one right on the corner, yeah. The other ones are all double-sided.
Correct.
Okay, but when we made the motion, we made it 2 and 2.
But
You
it
did
was-
say
it
2
was-
single and 2 double.
Because that's what the application said.
Because that's what the application said.
All right, let me just look at.
So, yeah, we just need a clarification on that, and we can amend, I think, our language
I think-
based on that.
I think those cafe signs count as the 2 single, right?
Yes, so if we could amend the motion so that the single-sided is just the one on the corner, which in the application Exhibit A is number 3. and
Okay,
the
so sign number,
others
just to
are
be
double.
clear, sign number 3 is a single-sided sign,
Yes,
and everything else is double-sided.
correct.
3 doubles,
Okay.
1 single.
3 doubles, 1
3 doubles, 1
Okay,
single.
and I'll just poll the board, Becky, or we're all still in the same boat with that. No changes on the boat, okay? I'll make a note on my pad that I
will
hopefully give
too.
you, you've got it as well.
Yep.
All right. So number 3 is the single-sided,
Yes,
Well, this,
right?
yeah, so sign A, 1 is double-sided, 1 is single-sided. And sign B is, they're both double-sided.
Okay. What Becky said.
Well, yeah, I would have someone make the motion.
Okay. Could I get a motion on that update to 75 Sylvan Street? Right, anyone?
Brian, do you want me to read the whole thing again?
Yeah, and then instead of the 2 double, 2 single, 3 double, 1 single.
Okay. Motion to grant a variance waiver under section 37.3.3 to allow 1 single-sided sign and 3 double-sided signs where only 2 signs are allowed, and that the condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A little enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant. Granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good and will not nullify or derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, with 3 additional conditions. 1, that the light arc will not, the illuminated sign light arc will not extend past the property line, that the applicant will work with the town to remove the tenant's signage, and 3, that all other signs on the property will be removed.
I would read that
And those-
docket number in, too.
And this is docket number 25-5116.
and
I
those
will
are
s-
all other ground signs, as indicated in
Will
the
be removed.
application.
Right.
Will be removed.
Right.
Not all other all other ground signs.
The directional signs.
Yes.
Directional signs. Very good.
I will second
I've
that.
got a motion, I got a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
That's a redo. Okay, and Mr. Clerk, we'll go on to our final case.
Our last case this evening is 200 Endicott Street. This is zoned Commercial 3, map 62, lot 5. Requests a variance under section 37.3.3 to allow one freestanding sign and 4 wall signs to be installed, where only a total of 2 signs are permitted in the zoning district. The request is being made by Raising Cane's Restaurant, LLC, care of Nancy McCann, Esquire, docket 25-5120.
Thank you very much. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Raising Cane's Restaurant, LLC. With me tonight is Melissa Brotchwell from Raising Cane's. Also with me remotely is Jennifer Squire with our sign consultant company for this project. Raising Cane's is coming to Danvers, 200 Endicott Street, formerly the Fidelity site. The Fidelity building is being completely removed, and a smaller building is being constructed in its place. We are requesting a waiver variance under the new sign bylaw that we discussed earlier tonight in order to provide a sign package that's going to adequately and appropriately and attractively identify this new restaurant. This is a restaurant with a drive-through. In fact, it has a double drive-through. This is a use that's permitted in the C3 zoning district. Raising Cane's is a national restaurant, and they are known for their exceptional chicken fingers. Not just good, exceptional
Sounds like
chicken
an
fingers.
advertisement here.
And in fact, the menu is limited to chicken fingers. Coleslaw, French fries, I think, bread and butter. That's what you got, because they're so good. So they have about 900 restaurants across the country. By the end of this year, there'll be 10 in Massachusetts. And this property is going through the site plan review property. Again, it's a permitted use in the C3 district. The site has been designed to reduce a curb cut, and again, it's going through the planning board process. The new sign bylaw, as I mentioned earlier, has problems, it has errors, and unintended consequences, quite honestly, particularly for the C3 zoning district. I've met a number of times with Planning Director Kelly in order to isolate the relief that's necessary under the new bylaw for the sign package as proposed. Again, as the package, you've got colored renderings within the package, is needed to adequately identify the restaurant. This is a new business coming to town, the entrances, the drive-through. We want it to be attractive. We want the entire site to be attractive and the building to be attractive, and to also represent the business image and its mission, and Melissa can certainly speak to that. Permitted. In the zoning, under the new zoning bylaw, we are permitted 2 freestanding signs, 40 square feet, 10 feet in height. As Mr. Zakelli has indicated, that's an error. It really should be 100 square feet each and 20 feet high, but we work with the bylaw that we have. So the bylaw, as it stands, permits 2 freestanding signs. We are proposing 1 freestanding sign. That sign is 77 square feet, and it's 20 feet high. So it meets the dimensional requirements as they should be, but we are requesting a waiver under the new bylaw to allow that single freestanding sign. What is permitted with regard to attached wall signs? The attached wall signs in this, under the new zoning bylaw, 2 attached wall signs are permitted. We are proposing a total of 5 attached wall signs. 1 on each side of the building are the Cane's signs that you see on the graphic there. It simply says Canes in a red circle. And one red dog. It is a picture of a red dog. Under the bylaw, a picture of a red dog is a sign. So we have 4 canes, one on each side of the building, and then we have the red dog graphic. That's Cane. That's his name. And he comes with the history of the site. So it's important for us to have his image on the building. So
Attorney McKenna, are you talking about location D or E?
I'm talking about,
E.
E, okay.
The picture,
That's a white dog with a red scarf.
yes.
My girlfriend would be very mad at me if I got this wrong, so. Looks like a
Looks like
Labrador,
a lovely yellow lab, and
It's
I
all
think
right, yellow,
that's what
okay.
he is.
not a red dog.
Well,
I get what
Okay.
you're saying.
let's,
Had to make this
Let the record
clarification.
talk
reflect.
about that further.
Flip it to red dog.
I'm confused.
All right, so each of the Canes wall signs, they are small. They're 24.14 square feet. They simply say Canes and chicken fingers, of course. The red dog himself is 32 square feet. So we have a Canes on each side of the building, and we have Cane himself for a total of 5. So again, the permitted number of attached wall signs would be 2. The permitted square footage for attached wall signs is 91.3 square feet. That's based on the calculation under the new bylaw. We are proposing 5, 4 canes and 1 cane himself, and the total square footage is 102. So not a significant difference in aggregate square footage. That's a waiver that we are requesting. We are requesting a waiver for the number of signs, 5 instead of 2, and square footage, 102 instead of 91.3. Finally, we permitted, under this new bylaw, your new bylaw permits murals. Those murals, by right, can be 1,000 square feet.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
They're meant to be on large buildings above the first floor in the downtown. That
But
was-
they say,
yeah.
yes, but they say nothing about the size
This
of
is
the
where you're
building.
taking advantage of the error.
It says nothing about the square footage of the building, but that was probably the intent, right? So a mural can be 1,000 square feet, but it has to be above the first floor. We are proposing one mural, 108 square feet. We're not looking for 1,000 square feet. 108 square feet. The waiver request here is to allow it to be on the first floor, which makes sense because it's only a single-story building. The mural is, as you see it there, it's a heart that has the historic business components that Melissa can speak to. There's cane in the middle and some other items that are that make up that mural. It is painted on the building. It is not illuminated. It is a true mural. It meets the definition of mural under the new sign bylaw. And so we are requesting a waiver for that mural, not because of the number of signs or anything like that. We're allowed to have a mural. Then we are requesting the waiver to allow that mural to be on the first floor because we don't have a second floor. And it could be 1,000 square feet, and we're proposing 108 square feet. Mentioned in the package is also One Love canopy letters. That is permitted. We have, again, Mr. Zakelli and I have spent a great deal of time going through this new bylaw, so we need no zoning relief for the One Love canopy letters. They're actually smaller than what's permitted. The bylaw would permit those canopy letters to be 22 0.5 square feet, I believe, and our proposal is 17 square feet. But that is not, does not require any zoning relief. The maximum square footage under the bylaw for, it's, in the aggregate for signage is 280 square feet, and we are proposing 304.11 square feet. So that is the sign package. We think it is a very reasonable sign package. It looks good on the building. And the zoning relief that's required is, as I've stated, a waiver variance for the freestanding sign because of the error in the bylaw to allow it to be 77 square feet, where normally it could be 100. The proposal for the number of wall signs and the square footage of wall signs, the number we're proposing is 5, with a total of 102 square feet, where 91 square feet is permitted. And the mural, a waiver to allow that mural to be on the first floor. And I think that is it for what is needed. And Melissa, do you want to speak to the purpose of the signage for canes?
Hi, good evening. Melissa Brochel, Raising Canes. I'm the property development manager for the Northeast region, so from Maryland to Maine, Jersey, all the way over to Ohio. I wanted to explain a little bit more about the symbolism behind some of the signage. I think that'll help paint a little bit of a better picture as to the history of Raising Canes. For those that are unfamiliar, Raising Canes started out as really as a business plan for a college class. Our founder and CEO, Todd Graves, had gotten proposed from a professor to come up with a business plan that could withstand the test of time, basically. And he came up with the idea to start a chicken finger restaurant, and it would serve only chicken fingers. Unfortunately, that got the lowest grade in his class, and he was very irritated that that was the lowest grade, so he wanted to find a way to make his dream a reality. And through some of this symbolism, I think you guys will understand a little bit more. So once he had gotten that feedback that it was not feasible, he wanted to try and find a way to make a lot of money and make it as quickly as he could to try and make his dream a reality. Somebody had suggested that if you go and you become a sockeye salmon fisherman up in Alaska, you could make a lot of money real quick. So that's exactly what he did. He went up to Alaska, became a sockeye salmon fisherman, and then somebody suggested to him while he was there that he could actually make a lot more money if he started working at the refineries up there. So he also became a refinery worker. And you can see in the One Love mural that we are proposing, there are a few different symbols there. If you want to scroll down for me, perfect. So in the middle there, that is Cain, and Cain is actually a female. That is, we consider that our red dog banner, so that's why we were calling it the red dog. But in the center of everything is Cain. It's our namesake. It's our founder and CEO's dog, and we are actually now on Cain 3, which is why we're trying to update the logo on the red dog banner. Going back to the mural, to the left bottom, you'll see the number 1, and you'll also see the One Love theme throughout our standard branding. That's our chicken fingers. Our One Love is our delicious chicken finger meals, and that is what we truly pride ourselves on. Again, we have a focused menu. It's 5 menu items: chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries, Texas toast, butter, cane sauce, and then your chicken fingers, of course. So with that being said, we know what you're going to order when you pull into the drive-thru. We just don't know how many you want. So the one there is for our One Love, for our chicken fingers. You'll also see the sockeye salmon as well as the hard hat. And then at the very top, on the top right, is a disco ball. If you've ever been to Cane's or if you've ever heard of Cane's, you'll likely see that there are disco balls throughout the interior of our restaurant, and that is paying homage to the very first piece of decoration that our CEO had in the restaurant to make it a little bit nicer for people to come and sit and eat. That was actually lit with a skylight that was in our original location, which is still in production at the South Gates of LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana today. And it's still functioning as a very high-end Raising Cane's restaurant. With that being said, we do believe that this package itself it's our standard package. It is very tasteful. There's not a lot of outlandish signage that we would necessarily be proposing. It's really just to have people understand who Cane's is, where we came from, and we really just want to be a part of the town, which is why we always put our locator down towards the bottom. Just as a note here as well, if any of you are on social media, this is a big social media poll for people that want to visit all of the Cane's restaurants that they can. They do like to take photos in front of that, or at least snap a picture so that they can say that they were at the Cane's in Danvers. Any questions on the signage that I
Very
can help?
good. I think we'll hold and ask at the end.
Thank you.
Unless you're done with your presentation. Thank you.
I believe I am, other than to sum up with the requirement under the zoning bylaw is that the sign package is not detrimental.
Very good. Okay, and with that said, I'll turn it over to the board, and Kevin, we'll start down there with you. Sorry, before you go, it'll be the same 5 voting members.
Regular members.
Regular members, yes.
Thank you.
So
Go ahead, Kevin.
I guess if the board were inclined to grant all or part of the relief you're seeking, is this one motion, or is it a waiver or a collection of waivers and then a variance?
I believe it could be done with one motion for a waiver/variance. I think that's what we
I
came
just
up
want
with.
to say very quickly why it's in the bylaw. It's called a variance and a waiver. So basically, everything in the downtown, we're trying to make that the planning board. So you're trying to do something downtown, even if it's signage, that's going to be with the planning board. Planning board cannot give variances by
By law.
state law.
Right.
They're called waivers. So basically in the downtown, it's a waiver. We have always kind of dealt, meaning the ZBA has always dealt with signage that doesn't comply as variances. Probably doesn't make a ton of sense to do signage through the variance process because 9 times out of 10, soil shape and topography have nothing to do with it. Probably should just be a special permit. It's the same, 4 out of 5 votes. So that's probably a change in the future. But that's why we have this variance/waiver conversation, because of the planning board in the downtown is a waiver. Everywhere else, it's a variance.
Got it.
Yeah, I think my opinion as to earlier hasn't changed much. I would not be in support of rewriting through
Well, do
decisions.
we have questions for the applicant at this point? We're just going to ask questions right now.
I guess in addition to the cane signs make sense to me, right? Identifying the business sign that points out where the drive-through is makes sense to me. The rest of it just seems like branding. Is it important to, you know what I mean? Like there's a dog, and the dog is lovely for everybody watching. Don't at me. The dog's great. There's a mural, but so I would understand if we needed, such as you presented before, we just need more signs to identify the business and what it is and where you turn. But this all just seems like branding, and maybe an exception for branding isn't, the additional signs just seem like branding. So what's the hardship of not putting up a dog or putting up a mural, or how do we get to hardship there if the relief weren't granted?
Well, I don't think the bylaw requires hardship in this case, and signage doesn't just have to be directional.
Sure.
It can be and should be business identifying. And as Melissa just gave you the history, the branding, as you call it, is important. It's important for this business. And there are certain elements that are very important. Canes is very community involved, and having its image and its brand, if you will, identified, and in this case, it's primarily, we have the identifying signs for purposes of where you might turn in and seeing the building, but then we also have the dog and the mural in areas where our customers are going to be, and they're going to be able to see that and experience it and hopefully enjoy it. It's a pretty element. And you know, one of the, again, going back to this odd bylaw, we actually started this process with the planning board because the bylaw got so mixed up in the summer with the AG and what they were doing and not doing. And we made this presentation to the planning board. And several members of the planning board said, you know, we were thinking just in the numbers that it might be too much. But then when you see it on the building, it actually looks very attractive. And it's a nice statement, and it makes the building look nicer. And it's all very much incorporated into the design and into the architecture.
And so is there any chicken and egg we need to worry about here? Like we need a sign because it's important to identify that there's a drive-through, but the planning, has the planning board already done a site plan review and approved having it?
They're in the middle of site plan review
Okay.
right now. They're going through a traffic peer review. So I guess I mean, that's actually something to talk about. I guess it's possible that the site plan could get changed slightly, where there could be a change in the signage? Do you think that
No, I don't think
happen?
there will be
Okay.
any change in the building location. The question is whether there might be an adjustment on the curb cuts or something. That's the only question. Otherwise, the planning board didn't have any other issues. And might the third-party peer review for traffic maybe say you need a small enter sign or something, which we're not proposing? Maybe, but it's not going to alter
Okay.
the actual
Yeah, I
signage.
think the town's done a good job of not bouncing applicants back and forth between land use boards, so I wanted to make sure we weren't about to do that to you. All right, thank you. That's
Thank
it
you.
for me.
Thank you, Kevin. Chris?
No questions, thank you.
Kevin J. Ken J.
So I thought you mentioned a couple times that it was 102 square feet for the 4 circular raised cane signs and then red dog or white dog together. So, but I get 128.
You get more?
Yeah, 120. So if
Yeah.
you go 4 times the 24.14, you get 96, and then plus the 32, it's 120, about 129 square feet. So I was just wondering, does that,
Your math
Make-
may be right.
But-
My math may be off on that.
so I'm just wondering if that math was wrong on the total square footage. Are you now well over, are you 32 or whatever square feet or whatever, over what?
You know, I will add it. I will add it.
So I was under the impression that they had to do 90, the by right was 91.3.
Yes,
And I believe you're at 128.56.
yes, 120, all right.
That's
I'm
what they're
sorry.
at. That is the relief.
128.56. I misspoke. I apologize for that.
So by rights
By right's
allowable is 92.
91.3.
Yeah.
They're asking for 128.6.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so the total number is okay, just the little,
The aggregate.
The aggregate in the middle was, okay. Gotcha. All right. I have no other questions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the Canes wall signs are illuminated. One Love is illuminated in just white, correct? And then, of course, J, the freestanding sign out on the corner, is illuminated. And are we doing with the 1 hour after close of business shutdown? No further questions, thank you.
Thank you. Corinne?
I have a question about those curb cuts. I know that obviously it's not really in our purview, you go through site plan review, but are they concerned, I read in your narrative that, and I see from the flow through the drive-through, that you would
have to drive all the way through to where you pick up your food, past where that first curb cut is, that's like closest to 95 or 128.
That's being
So,
closed.
Is that the one that you're going to close?
The one next to Flip the Bird.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
Don't have chicken wars here.
see, like, again, I've been to, when it was the Fidelity site, pulling in is kind of tough when you come around the corner. So you have an entrance from Sylvan Street. Would it looks from the picture that you'll be able to get in the queue from Sylvan Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the other option is to go around the corner, take that right in, and then get into the queue. But then you're gonna have to drive around, go through, pick up your food, and then go back out that same entrance that's at the corner to take the right, correct?
If you wanted to go back out onto Endicott Street, yes.
It's all right in, right out. Sylvan Street is right in, right out.
Right.
Endicott Street is right in, right out.
No, I know that, like, you can't take a left from either one of
Correct.
those. But again, is this what the planning board is having an issue with? They would prefer to keep the cutout on the other side?
No, they have not expressed a preference at all. They simply wanted a third-party peer review to make sure that they are comfortable with the location of the curb cuts. And that was a recommendation from the town engineer, was to have a third-party peer review. And
Okay.
that's what's being done, and that is what they are looking at. But it's all right in, right out.
Sorry, it's not just the curb cuts, though, but
Right.
we're also looking at the light, the timing, the synchronization for the lights, because people that are making a right from Sylvan Street, so if you're going up Sylvan Street and you're gonna be making let's say, a right onto Endicott, there's not a no turn on red, so you have people making lefts in, so there's a lot of friction right on this corner of Sylvan and Endicott, so that's the main thing, one of the other main things they're gonna
Right.
study.
Is one of the options to close both of those curb cuts and have another one? Or it's
No.
either one or the other?
No, it's either a potential shift but the curb cut that's on Endicott, that is getting closed. That's already happening. It's a question of what's the remainder, what are we gonna do with it?
Right.
There's a lot, just flat out, there's a lot of friction around that corner.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And
That's why I'm
we're-
bringing it
we're-
up,
yeah,
because,
we're nervous.
again, and obviously, there aren't as many people going in and out of that complex when it was Fidelity as there will be, especially during
about-
high traffic or.
About 7 or 8 times much.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
So, but you don't envision there being an issue where we're gonna give this signage package and then you're gonna have to change it?
No, no,
Okay.
because the signage package is for building-mounted signs.
Well,
and
I'm talking about
one
like the drive-through.
freestanding. The one freestanding.
It would just be the freestanding sign. They could
That's the only thing that would
potentially, but it's
change is the
unlikely to move.
freestanding, and I
Okay.
don't think it will. And we're not asking for location relief, it's the size.
Right.
So I don't think anything that this board would approve in this sign package would change when the planning board completes its third-party peer review.
Okay, and when do you anticipate the construction's gonna start?
By end of the year, as soon as possible, always.
Okay, and then what's the anticipated construction time once you get started?
Oh, at the microphone or?
About 4 to 5 months? 4 to 5 months.
Okay, all right. And there's no conservation issues in the back of this property, is there?
Yes.
There are, because there is a wetland back there, part of this property is in Peabody.
Yep.
The entirety of the building is in Danvers. So there is an order of conditions that will be issued by Peabody for that wetland area.
And it has already gone through
It's
Concom
gone
and
through
Danvers.
Danvers.
So the entirety of the building is in Danvers, the entirety of the parking is in Peabody, so that was a fun parking ratio conversation that we had.
Yeah.
But no, it's gone through Concom.
Yes,
Good luck with the Peabody Conservation Commission.
it's going well.
Nothing further.
Thank you, Becky.
I did drive down to Saugus to see what the queue was for the drive-through down there to try to get an idea. And my question was about the planning board and they're approving a drive-through because we've never had a drive-through at this corner. We've had a restaurant, but not a drive-through. I'm just wondering if the signage would have to be changed depending on the drive-through and how it ends up.
It will not. I mean, the building isn't going to change. It's a question of whether the curb cuts are adjusted. And all that we are talking about, again, are the building-mounted signs and the design of the building. That's not.
I mean, we've
not going to
addressed
change.
drive-through issues, on High Street, the problems over there, and Route 1. We've been through this many times,
The
drive-through.
planning board is giving this due diligence.
Okay.
And Raising Cane's did its due diligence in advance.
I'm
and
sure.
and
They're
submitted
putting money
a
into this.
complete traffic report that was prepared by a traffic consultant for the planning board's site plan submission, and then it went out to a third party. Traffic consultant hired by the town, paid for by the applicant, and that's the process we're in now.
Okay. All right. I will reserve my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Brian, can you blow this up a little bit? Attorney McCann, can you just highlight for me where the freestanding sign is on this?
On the corner.
Jay.
Jay.
And that is Endicott Street. Yep. Okay. So it's the corner of Endicott and Silver, basically.
Sylvan Street Grill with their great big sign right over there.
That's Peabody.
That's Peabody. We don't care about Peabody.
That's why they have video signs.
Okay, thank you for that. And was it Melissa? Can you go up to the microphone? I just had a couple of questions. You said there's to be 10 locations in Massachusetts?
We're trying to, we're in one level of process or another with different jurisdictions. That's
Okay,
correct.
and are they all set up in this nature with the mural and the red dog and the One Love and the 4 building signs and the freestanding signs?
That's
So this
correct.
isn't
This is our standard
unique to
sign.
Danvers, this is the cookie cutter approach for all the canes?
Yes, and can I actually just ask a question? You had mentioned that you were at the Saugus location. Did you happen to go through the drive-through and see the mural that was there? Because the one that we're proposing is basically the exact, it's very, very similar to that. I just wanted
She
to.
ordered the chicken, too.
I did too, the last time I was through the drive-through.
Very, very, very busy.
Yeah, so,
Good thing.
again, I know we're here on the sign package, but because this board does have a lot of experience with drive-throughs and queuing, so what is the amount of cars that can be queued on this site in its current design?
Defer to you.
Since we are talking about signs, I did not bring my.
You had to
large
count, can I
folder.
count from your little picture here?
23.
23. So, Attorney McCann, I guess this goes back those signs, though. So, is there any concern that, you've got a potential customer, well, I guess so there is an entrance on Endicott, so if they miss it on Sylvan, they're going to pull in on Endicott.
Correct.
Okay. And I think what Kareem was getting to is a little bit of a concern. It sounds like once you've queued and then gone to the pickup, that these might start to back up depending on how busy you are with people entering from either Sylvan Street or Endicott Street.
Again, this is what the traffic consultants are confirming, that
Yeah.
will not be an issue. Kane's has had this design, again, I think I told you 900 locations in the United States, but Danvers is doing its due diligence through its site plan review and third-party peer review, and
Okay.
it should not impact the signage.
What are the hours of operation? Or
It
proposed hours of operation?
9:30 to 3:30. 9:30 to 3:30.
AM?
Yes.
So that sign will be on till 4:30 AM?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Board members, any follow-up questions?
I just have one.
Yeah, go ahead, Corinne.
May I ask Brian a
Yeah,
question,
sure, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair? Getting back to what you were talking about, they're gonna check the traffic lights. Is that because you're afraid you're coming out of the queue and you want to take the right onto Endicott? Because people are gonna be taking a right from Sylvan Street, and then people on the other side are gonna be taking a left. There could be potentially not a gap for you to be able to get out of the parking lot. Is that the potential issue?
It's an onion. You start peeling back the layer, so you're like, okay, well, what's happening? Right now, there's no condition from Sylvan Street that prevents you from turning right on red. You can just do it. There is not a no turn on red, there's no red light. So what happens when there's a green left from Sylvan and they're going on to Endicott, there's nothing preventing that problem. So that's one little thing in terms of what's happening with the people going right. Then you also want to make sure that no one from Sylvan Street is going to try to make a left in. So that's another big problem. So let me see if you can see on my, so the idea is like, well, maybe there's some like flex posts or something like that, because we really do not want people coming south on Sylvan and then making a left into there.
Right.
We're trying to prevent, so like, that's one very specific movement that we don't want to happen. There's probably 3 or 4 of those movements that need to be light synchronization, and, maybe there's a curb cut change, like, something like that. So those are the concerns. We had like, an initial meeting with the peer review. When are you in front of the planning board again?
28th.
At the end of this month.
Yes, the 28th of October. We will have the peer review study. It has not come back to us yet. That will be all fleshed out between our consultant and the peer review consultant, and we'll be presenting this to the planning board. The planning board is very cognizant of the issues that you're raising, very cognizant, and they want to make sure, because quite honestly, and we presented this entire layout, and there were no other concerns. It was all about the traffic.
Oh, I agree.
So they are all on top of that, and it's also gone through traffic review in Peabody as well. This went through a review in Peabody. So it's being well reviewed by the board that reviews traffic.
Okay, thank you.
One more question for you, Melissa. So out of your Massachusetts locations, how many are located on a corner as this one's proposed?
I would have to double check on that. I believe that there is at least one other one that we have done locally that has an option for the.
Do you know what town?
I would have to look it up. I know for a fact that we likely do have one because that's pretty standard. We do like to try and get real estate that's on the corners.
Okay. All right, we're all set on the board here. I'm gonna open it up, public comment on, this was 200 Endicott Street, correct? Yes, 200 Endicott Street. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi there, Linda Polcari, Pine Street. So there's a road or a large driveway that runs behind that, and I'm assuming that's Peabody's property. But who owns that, and did anybody try to access that area instead, since this building is both Peabody and Danvers? Maybe that would lighten up some of the congestion there.
Well, I'll say it this way, I think that might be more for the planning board, because we're not here on that. We're on
Oh,
the-
okay.
We're here on the sign package.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep,
Sorry
but
about that.
perhaps Attorney McCann, you can try and respond to that? Okay.
Well, isn't that
I-
where the curb cut is?
No,
The one
the-
on Sylvan, or is there another driveway behind
You're
it?
talking, it's behind the entire site. You see where
Oh, I see.
there's this, behind the whole site, there's like a connecting driveway.
Is it a service road or something?
It runs behind.
Yeah.
Okay. I think isn't that where like the conservation area is?
Yeah, that's
though?
all the
Yeah.
Concom. I mean, it's already paved over, but.
Yep.
But
Yep, okay, thank you.
they're not saving much, but.
Okay. With that said, I'll close the public portion, and we will go and deliberate. Kevin, I believe it started with you.
Looking forward as much as anyone else to this bylaw being corrected. I'm looking forward to those 1,000 square foot murals on the square where the setbacks used to be after the second floor, so that'll be great. Nothing further for me, thank you.
Thanks. Chris?
I will be voting in favor of this. My children will also thank you as well.
Thank you. Ken?
I'll also vote in favor for this. It's only, approximately 50 square feet more than what is by law right, so vote for this. Yeah.
Very good. Ken Schultz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been on this board quite a long time, and I've never seen a project get blown up for a traffic study, so we know that's not going to be an issue at all. I agree with the planning board. Looking at the photos of these with this signage, it seems very, very minimal, so I would vote for this.
Very good. And Corinne?
I would vote for this. I think the signage is, I actually think it's a nice package, and I know that for most of these, it's all about branding, and that certainly is the case here. So I will vote yes.
Thank you. And Becky?
I'm not voting on this, but I think my issues are with the drive-through, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful addition for the town.
Thank you, Becky. I too see this sign package as pretty standard, although I agree with my counterpart here, Kevin, that this, hopefully we can get this rectified, because I feel like it just makes it a little confusing, I think, both for staff and for this board, so, and I'm assuming applicants as well.
And for applicants.
Yes, so
Absolutely.
it's a mess for all of us, and hopefully we can get that squared away. But with that said, I would vote in favor of this package, and with that, could I get a motion, please?
Motion to grant a variance waiver under section 37-3-3 to allow one freestanding sign, wall signs that are larger than allowed by right, in aggregate 128.56 feet where 91.3 feet is allowed, and a mural on the first floor of the building, and that this condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant. Granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good and will not nullify or derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw.
I will second that.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great. Attorney McCann, before you go, one more thing I just wanted to bring up on 103 Newbury Street, and maybe go out to Brian on this. The letter from town engineering also stated that unit would require a water and sewer permit. Are you aware of that? And is that accurate, Brian, that they would require that? That's what the engineering letter says, so I'm
If there's-
just pointing that out.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely would require a water and sewer permit for a new unit.
Which I'm
for a
assuming
new
you don't
unit, but
have currently on that particular unit?
I believe we do,
I
because
believe they
there's
do
someone
as
living
well.
there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
so
is
you
that-
already have the permit.
I certainly hope so.
I can at least check to make sure that they.
It got executed,
That they have it
okay.
right, but.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
so that's
sure.
it. I just want to, I had made a note and forgot to bring it up, so.
Thank you very much.
We were hoping for some samples.
Yes. That would have been nice.
That would have been awesome. Brian, do you have anything else for the board?
No, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna reuse the binders.
Or
that you have for
the new
zoning
version of the bylaws,
and
yeah.
We have the new one that is freshly minted as of this morning. So we'll have that for next time, for sure.
Okay. And with that said, could I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, sorry. Could you go to the mic, please?
Oh, yeah, don't forget this.
Yes. Get that handed over.
I just, I know there was some discussion about the November hearing dates.
Oh, yes.
And whether that you do plan on meeting on the Monday of Thanksgiving week?
Yes.
Or you are going to do that?
Well, we haven't decided yet. I think we're going to wait and see what the application load is. So it could potentially be that we only have the November 10th meeting only in November, but we have not made that decision yet.
The only other option would be, it's either cancel the 24th, and that's it,
Yeah.
Or we move it up to the 17th and we meet on the 10th and the
I'm not in
17th.
favor of the move up, but I would stroke the board as well. But I think it's either we're canceling the 24th or we're having the 24th.
Okay.
But we're gonna probably
So
make that decision by
That's the one thing that we can talk about through email. So
Yeah.
we can at least poll
Right.
everybody and see,
Yeah.
and see what's
Yeah,
going on.
so we'll
with
see
it.
if that works. I think it would, if there's a light load for cases in November, I think we would be okay with the one meeting.
Can I poll the board and see if it is on the 24th as planned? So Thanksgiving week, is everyone here?
Becky, yes? Corinne?
Curious.
I am here.
Unfortunately, I can see sadness in her face.
I am here.
Do you check?
I am.
You are?
I wouldn't be available for the 17th if we did change it.
I'd be okay for 24.
As of right now, I'm good.
So it looks like we would all,
Just
Yeah.
curious.
very good. Thank you for bringing that up, too. Okay, so we can make that decision on the 20th meeting.
Yeah.
October 20th. Okay, and with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Somebody can make a motion, please.
Motion to adjourn.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Danvers. Okay.
Sorry to what? About Sylvan Street.
It's starting to become a regular. You're gonna have to sit
Oh,
back
that's
there with
okay.
Bill.
We need to spread it out a little.
Yeah.
Just like